Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's DLloyd. So we have an update on the Los Angeles Lakers and really their plan when it comes to what they're going to do with D'Angelo Russell and what they're going to do when it comes to possibly trading for Dejounte Murray of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I reported just last week that a trade could be happening fairly soon. At the time, it seemed like conversation and trade talks were beginning to ramp up. We know at that point, D'Angelo Russell had become eligible to be traded. And then on top of that, a lot of things started to add up. D'Lo had that game where it appeared that he was maybe tearing up, like he gave a farewell speech. He kind of came back and debunked that. And then they were reporting that Dejounte Murray was potentially not going to play that night, which he ended up playing. And I was just like, man, maybe they're sending him out to potentially get a trade done. Now, of course, that has not happened. And now, fast forward to over the weekend, we heard from Mark Stein that not only has the trade not happened, of course, but trade talks have seemingly stalled when it comes to the Lakers and the Hawks. Now, that's nothing crazy. That is nothing crazy that trade talks have stalled. We have seen this before. We have, another 2 weeks essentially before the trade deadline is here. So we have time, and we know trades like this, it could just take an instant and bam, trade talks are back on and they're trying to, hammer things out and get it done. So that does not mean a trade is not going to happen. But right now, we are hearing that the trade talks have slowed down. But we're also hearing from Mark Stein today is that not only has the trade talks stalled, but head coach of the Atlanta Hawks, Quinn Snyder, he is urging the front office not to trade Dejounte Murray. And you would assume a coach like Quinn Snyder, he is going to have that type of pull, right, to be able to say, hey, we're not going to move him, we'll keep him, and we'll go from there. So things have gotten a lot more interesting. That does not mean that a trade will not happen. It's just we're going to see the gamesmanship. We're going to see if one will get done eventually. Now, I've been clearly on the record of saying that I didn't want Dejounte Murray being moved in a trade for Dejounte Murray. I didn't want him in a trade revolving Zach LaVine. I really just thought they should keep him unless a clear upgrade is available. I did not think any of those were a clear upgrade because of the cost it was going to cost you to give up to get any one of those players. But I was reminded of something to think about, and I do want to pose this to you guys as well. Somebody say, yo, DLloyd, you have to remember the player option when it comes to D'Angelo Russell. Now, I think me and many others have just assumed that D'Angelo Russell will opt in to his player option next year. Now, he signed a 2-year deal. Well, it was a 1 year, then a player option for the second year. With that, we just assumed it, especially him being on the bench, him not playing that great. But D'Angelo Russell has really picked things up, so much so that you're now hearing Lakers fans say Austin Reeves is the one that needs to go and not D'Angelo Russell. D'Lo has been playing really great the last week and a half. So you are now hearing things about maybe he does not pick up that player option. He elects to test free agency, and if he does that, another team could come in and offer more money than the Lakers can afford. Because you have to remember, the Lakers are not dealing with unlimited money here, so they could be in a situation where a team could come in, outspend them, they lose D'Angelo Russell, and if they lose D'Lo, they are not, it doesn't free up cap space, right? Because they're clearly over the cap. So now you're stuck with really nothing. So that is another thing to consider. Now, if you trade him for a Dejounte Murray, you get a guy who is locked up for a few more years. You don't have to worry about it. You could just finish LeBron James' career with the Lakers if he elects to stay with the Lakers the next 3-4 seasons, and you don't have to worry about him at all. So that is going to be very, very interesting to see where the Lakers sit on that, where D'Lo sits on that, because he's been playing great basketball, man. If he keeps this up, averaging almost 20 or over 20 points for the stretch, but say by the end of the year he's around that mark, I could see a situation. Especially it is the Lakers, and teams around the league are finding or trying to find ways to screw them over could say, hey, let's offer D'Lo a little bit more than the Lakers could offer, and let's put them in a tough spot. So that is something to consider. With all of that said, I'm still on the boat of maybe rolling the dice and keeping D'Lo and seeing, hey, you know, how much can we offer? What can we throw in as a sweetener to, you know, get you to opt in to that player option or sign a contract in the offseason. Now, of course, nothing can happen now. He is not eligible for an extension this season, so he will have to make that decision himself whether or not he's going to opt in to that player option or not. But something to think about. Like I said, that was brought up to my attention. I'm just going to bring it, run it by you guys as well, man. Something to think about. But the trade update for now is that the Lakers and the Hawks, they have stalled in those conversations. That does not mean it is done, but as of now, they are not actively discussing Dejounte Murray talk. Quinn Snyder, the head coach, he is actively talking to the front office saying, hey, wait a minute, just pump the brakes. Let's hold on to this Murray cat for a little bit and see what else can happen. So we'll see. We'll see. Of course, this is going to be one of the bigger storylines. What's going to happen with Dejounte Murray? The Lakers are not the only team involved, but the Lakers, anything they do is going to be magnified and the media is going to be picking it up. So what do the Lakers do? What happens with the Hawks and Dejounte Murray? Hey, man, we're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline. I believe February 8th is going to be an entertaining show, man. But you guys let me know what you guys think about everything in the comment section below. Where do you sit as of now when it comes to the Lakers and the decision? Would you go for Dejounte Murray, especially knowing that D'Lo, his value is rising? He could potentially opt out, or do you hold on to him? Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. It's DLloyd. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.